Hello everyone, I've been a naughty boy today. I've been out shopping and I bought a new GoPro Hero 7 and I might get in trouble from the missus. Anyway, I'll tell you why. We normally use GoPro 5s and 6s, that's what we've got. And the thing is, I have to use a gimbal with those. It's one of them things you hold the camera in and it steadies it out. And this one claims that you don't need a gimbal, and that is the main reason I wanted it. Plus it's got higher frame rates, which I like for doing slow-mo stuff. So we don't only do boat stuff, as most of you know, we go out and mess around everywhere. So I'm hoping that this does work. At the moment I'm holding this in my hand, just so you know, but we need to give this a really good test to see if it's worth the money and worth the upgrade. It better blooming be, or else I'm going to be in some big trouble from the missus. Anyway, we're going to Northampton tonight and we're going to a fireworks display in Duston. And there'll be a fun fair there, there'll be a hog roast, there'll be beer, which will keep me happy. And we'll put this through its tests, put it through its paces even, that's what I meant to say. It's through its paces, I say. And see if it really doesn't need a gimbal and see how it handles low light. Obviously we'll try other stuff later, but the first test I want it to be a nasty one, to really push this thing to its limits. Everything's going to be straight out of camera. As I say, there's going to be no gimbal. It's also supposed to have improved audio, so I hope this sounds all right, because normally we have to use an external microphone. So you do look a bit conspicuous as you walk around with a great big fluffy dead cat thing on top of your camera. So this is a little bit more covert. So we'll see how it goes. I hope I'm not in trouble. Bye! Here we are then. We're at the fair. Oh my god. Oh, I bet their asses are cold, aren't they?
Yeah. But they wish they had their big pants on.
Lee?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Waiting in the queue for hog roast.
I'm starving. Lee, it's me again.
Hello.
Hungry riders, on your token now, be ready to ride the next last ride.
I'll be shocked if you can even, if this is working in this low light. This is awesome. But it's beer o'clock. Woo! I got two by accident. was a genuine accident. I asked for lager because I didn't think they had any ale. Then Lee asked for ale and I was jealous, so I had to have ale as well. Bye. It's raining, isn't it, Lee?
It is.
I'll tell you. Well, weren't that a good firework display last night?
It was brilliant.
And I think this little camera handled it quite well. So now we're going to give it another test in this nasty, horrible weather. And do some weird hyperlapse stuff, whatever that is. It's got a button that says I can do it. So we'll have a go at that. I do know what it is really, I'm jesting. It's like time lapse, but without all that nonsense. It's supposed to be nice and smooth. So let's have a look what happens. We're going down a new little place that we haven't been before, so we don't know how far we'll be able to get, whether we'll get lost. I don't know where Lee's gone. I seem to be all on my own again. So let's try a hyperlapse, shall we? See what that does. Bye. Oh look, we've discovered something, a little off track. So now we're just testing the normal stabilisation. Now this is quite rough and I'm obviously wobbling around quite a lot while I'm walking. And we'll see if it stays quite gimbal like. Ooh, look. This looks quite pretty. I'll go down, try not to fall over. Won't be the Jesus. How splendidly.
Oh, yes. Splendidly. Quite clear.
Yeah, the water is very clear actually, look. So a bit of extreme off-roading now. See how the stabilisation holds up. Woohoo! See if I can not fall over. It's all too much, I say. It's far too much exercise for a Sunday morning. I'm definitely having me beer and curry tonight. So again, we're just testing the stabilisation. And I'm just going to let Lee get ahead and then I'm just going to jump up and down a bit as I walk towards her. Let's go. And see if that's quite stable. That's enough of that running. If you can still hear me, we've got the camera upside down now, so it's hanging down. So it's just above knee height now, which is quite handy because you can invert it and the video would still stay the right way up, hopefully, because it has gyroscopes and all those things in there so it knows what position it's in. And I think that's sort of how the stabilisation's working as well. It's preempting what you're going to do. Apparently, that's according to GoPro, which is amazingly clever. And it makes a really good vlogging camera. This is quite a nice little track, isn't it, Lee? We've never been here. Might get lost, I tell you. Really doesn't look like England, does it? It does look a bit swampy. The one thing I should tell you that I've got a setting on this camera that I have done, because I say all this is just going to come straight out of the camera. I'm not going to do too much faffing with the editing. I'm not going to colour correct it or nothing. I have got the ISO set on minimum 100 and maximum 800. So hopefully last night's fireworks and that won't be too grainy because I haven't allowed it to up the ISO to get that horrible grainy look which you often get with iPhones and Android phones and stuff like that. Of course you can do a lot of this with a normal mobile phone, but you don't really want to have your phone out in the wet. Well, I don't anyway. Plus when you're filming you just know you're going to get a phone call, which often happens to me when I've used the iPhone for recording. And secondly, you don't really want to drop your phone. And this little GoPro, the version 7 and the version 6 and 5 are all waterproof without housing, so you could technically drop these in the canal or any other body of water, of course, and they should float and they should still work. So that's a bonus. I mean, they say the iPhone is waterproof, but I wouldn't want to drop mine in the canal, would you? There's one thing I've noticed already between the GoPro 6 and 7 is the 7 doesn't seem to like the voice commands quite as much. I have to shout at it a bit. So I'm going to look a right nutter shouting at a camera when before I could just talk to it. Right, we're going to do something I don't do very often again. I'm going to run again, this time with the camera facing me, and see how bad the jumpy up and down is. I don't think that'll be too bad. My arm is going up and down quite a lot, by the way. That's far too much running for me, thank you. But it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Camera turn round. Yay, I was right. Here's the bridge. Well, my navigation skills are absolutely awesome, I have to say. We should be coming up to the big lake now, which on Google Maps says it's called Sixfields Lake, but don't know whether that's really its name. But look at this is really quite pretty. Go to the other side. A bit more overgrown on this side. Oh, I just stood on my lays. Now we go across the bridge and you'll see the big lake. There, Lee Lawson?
Yes.
You jumped a little bit then, didn't you? Are you miles away, darling?
I was just looking at Buddy, just taking in the view.
Buddy's a little bit of a poorly dog at the moment, aren't you, Bud? She's been scratching herself to blood. So she's had some Puritan this morning. She just needs beer and a curry. You all right there, Bud? Well, something I didn't mention with the hyperlapse thing, you can set it to like 2 times speed, 5 times, 10 times 15 and 30 I think. But the higher speed you get it, so if you put it at 30 times speed, apparently the more stable it will be because it can look at the footage more and sort of correct it all for you. So we're going to try one on 30 now. The last ones we did were on 15, so they should be stable. And I'm pretty impressed if it is. Obviously, as I said, I can't look at it yet, but I will do. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this all on my iPad, stitch it all together, and that'll be all the editing that'll do for it, and then I'll stick it up and see what it looks like. So, bye. I've got an email, by the way, if you heard that. I have to say, I know already this microphone and this is much better. So anyway, let's do another hyperlapse. Bye. Right, we'll do one more little running test. I'll catch up with Lee and see if I can avoid having a heart attack and see how bouncy we get again.
More vertical running.
It's all too much, isn't it, Lee? You've never seen me run so much in all my life.
3 lots of vertical running.
It's all too much. Just as a comparison, this is me walking with my iPhone. See what sort of stabilisation we get. Has got image stabilisation turned on, but you want to compare it with the GoPro Hero 7. And I'm hoping that this will prove that while phones are alright for videoing, they're not as stable as these new GoPros. So we're going to run now. God help me. Genie McNamara. It's all too much, I say. That'll do for me. We're in the pub again.
I was slouching. Oh, I didn't know it was recording. I thought it was a photo.
Beer pub. So you have to visit pubs to test these cameras out properly.
Oh, okay.
It's a splendid pint of hobgoblin.
I don't like it. I didn't think I liked it, but it's just that thing.
It's very dark. You probably can't see anything at all, apart from a couple of lights. But we're in Stoke Bruin because we're going to get a curry. I'm so excited. It's all too much. It's been a hard day, Lee. I had to walk. Yeah. Bye. Oh look, we can see now, Lee. Well, there you go then. That's my little test of the GoPro Hero 7. It's a really good little camera, and you know what, for just vlogging out and about and not wanting to carry loads of kit around, it's definitely the best GoPro ever. So, you know, I'd recommend it definitely, because it does stay fairly stable, and it's not too bad in low light. It's not the best in the world, but it's brilliant. So there, go out and get one. Why not, eh? Treat yourself. Finally, one last thing I'd like to say, because I've been meaning to put this on the end of a video for ages. I want to put a call out there to Leslie Crouch, who supports us in so much of the stuff we do. She sponsors us on Patreon, follows us on most of our social networks, even follows my tech channel, although I've only done one video on there, but I will do some more. I'll do a proper review of this camera against the GoPro Hero 6 and the GoPro Hero 5, so I'll do that at some point. So if you like tech stuff, I am going to put a bit more effort into that one as well. So I'll put the link down below somewhere, if I can remember what it is. I think it's Paul's Pixels. Anyway, because I do all my arty-farty stuff as well. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye! GoPro, stop recording.